Hello, thank you for joining me. My name's Adam and we're in France. Today we're in Marseille, which is France's second largest city. It's also France's sunniest city, boasting over 300 days of sun every year. I suppose it might not look like much today, but I promise you it's an early morning in February. I just wanted to get up here early so it'd be quiet so I could get these amazing views. It's also France's oldest city and was first inhabited by the ancient Greeks in literally 600 BC, making it over 2,000 years old. And it's one of those rare cities that actually grew out of the port rather than the city building the port like you might expect. And to this day, it's France's largest port. And someone just told me it's the largest port in the world.
Which is interesting, really, because it's definitely not. It's not even in the top 50. I think that accolade belongs to Shanghai. But I suppose it's a nice reminder not to trust everybody you meet when travelling, or just goes to show how proud the French can be. And for further clarity, the port behind me then was what's known as the Old Port, or the Vieux Port, and the newer port has moved just around the corner, and you can see it in the distance here, and definitely is the largest port in France. Again, France.
But despite this long list of French superlatives and the obvious proclivity for speaking French, I think if you were to ask a local, they wouldn't say it's the most French city by any means. And I think mainly because this amazing connection with the Med that's been going on for 2,000 years. It's always had this economic and cultural connection with places like North Africa, the Middle East, Asia even, and obviously the rest of Southern Europe. So it's always been this sort of cosmopolitan collaboration of culture. And you really get the sense of that as you walk around here and explore.
And that's exactly what we'll be doing. From the Old Port to the Notre Dame de la Garde, we'll be taking in the sights and sounds of this elegant and multifarious city. But more than that, we'll be taking a tour through Marseille's rich history with soap making and talking to artists in Le Pagna region. Perhaps the best place to start is in the same place the city did. The Old Port, or the Vieux Port, was the centre of maritime activity in Marseille up until the 19th century. It's one of the most popular locations in Marseille, and is surrounded by stylish hotels, seafood restaurants serving mullet and lobster from quayside fish markets, whose trawler boats you can see coming and going right next to the tourist boats, and really gives a sense of the ancient way of life surviving to meet the modern day travellers who have come to see it. At the entrance to the Old Port are two forts, Fort St. Nicholas to the south and Fort St. John to the north, that both stand to greet the boats as they dock, as well as welcoming tourists to Marseille's rich history. Both built by Louis XIV in the 17th century, they were, interestingly enough, though they may seem to be here to defend from invaders from the sea, in fact built as a response to a local uprising, with their cannons pointed towards the city rather than towards the sea. And they still stand today, almost as a monument to Marseille's independent spirit. At the head of the port is a large square, which sees thousands of tourists and locals pass by every day. And as if it wasn't photogenic enough already, there is this large mirrored roof providing shade on sunny days, as well as some unique photo opportunities. There's also a metro station where you can take the underground to many parts of Marseille. You can get a day pass here for around €5 that will let you not only travel on the metro, but also the buses that stop here too. This is how we got to the Notre Dame de la Garde. It even takes you directly outside, saving you walking the massive hill to where it stands at the highest point of Marseille. The Notre Dame de la Garde, literally Our Lady of the Garde, is the symbol of Marseille and provides some breathtaking views. It is known locally as La Bonne Mère, which is French for the Good Mother. It's a Catholic basilica, and I have no idea what that is.
Wow.
I do, however, know that it was built on the site of an ancient fort in 1214. It was rebuilt again in the 15th century before being destroyed again in 1853 to make way for this larger basilica.
Hello, so we're currently at Notre Dame de la Garde. It was first built in 1853 in the Romanesque style. Apparently it took over 40 years to complete. And it is the highest point in Marseille, and it overlooks the city, as you can see, with these amazing views. So we just caught the number 60 bus, cost about €5 and took about 20 minutes, and it was pretty easy to get here. But if you come in February, it's very, very windy, very David Blowy.
Inside, a Romano-Byzantine style with stones decorated with mosaics dominates. It's just lovely. It's really nice. And later on in the video, just by chance, I actually stumbled upon an art house, two of whose artists are responsible for renovating the mosaics inside the basilica. Whatever that is. And that's actually where we're going next, just once the sun's gone down. Come on. And there it is. New chapter.
We're about to head into La Panière, which is also known as the Old Town, and it's the remnants of the old original village that can be seen here, and it's sort of the artist district, and you can sort of see that with all the awesome graffiti around the place.
La Panière is settled on a little hill right in the middle of Marseille. It's beautifully decorated by plants and murals, and you really get the sense you're in another world. Although, just to clarify, it's probably the same world. I'm not that good a travel journalist. And as you wander around these beautifully interlaced streets, it is quite easy to get lost, but you sort of don't mind because it's like walking around an outdoor gallery. But after getting lost for a few minutes, I realised I should probably talk to some of the locals like an actual journalist. La Panière has a great reputation for its creators and artists being very welcoming, and I definitely found that to be true.
It's a shop, we are 12 designers,
Okay.
and it is a local community local.
How does La Panière compare to the rest of Marseille?
It's a village. It's not a big state like Marseille. It's a little village.
With a sense of community, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, give me that journalism award right now. It's definitely a community, you really get the sense as you walk around here, and it's a lovely escape from the hustle and bustle of the big city, Marseille.
I got wings! I don't really pose for Instagram.
So I walked around, excited again to chat to some of the locals. Little did I know how cool my next encounter would be.
Can I ask you some questions about La Panière?
In English,
If you want.
that would be hard.
It turned out that I was talking to a local artist, Claudia Cervantes, who quickly invited me into this amazing gallery and studio space. She works here with around 12 other artists, each with their own unique talent and style, and they all work collaboratively, so it's probably the best representation of La Panière I could have hoped to find.
This is the first workshop we are teaching.
Oh, you teach?
Yeah, my colleagues teach ceramics. Today there is a kids workshop with Delphine in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
This is our living space. We eat here. We live past half of our time here in the kitchen. Be careful with your head. Go upstairs.
Thank you.
This is I don't know how we call it in English, an oven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kiln, I think.
A kiln.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another working space with another ceramic teachers, artists producing for the gallery. And this is another workshop where mosaic.
Wow.
They are restoring. There's two people, Anna Rommel coming from Germany, Francine Jongsman coming from Amsterdam, and they came to Marseille to restore the ceiling of Notre-Dame de la Garde avec the mosaic, and they love Marseille. They stay living here.
Wow.
Charlotte Corallo is cutting the plants there outside. She is from Marseille. What else? I'm working here. This is my workshop. I'm doing some slow design,
What does that involve?
creating with lightning, jewelry,
Oh, wow.
painting, doing a lot of things.
So lots of artists work here together.
Yeah, we work together. We just sometimes we work together in some projects, and then we just work on our own work.
Yeah. And does it make it easy to collaborate then?
Yeah, because we pass a lot of time here, so it comes naturally.
Yeah.
With the technique, with the material, with the story, with the window shop we have to do with. So it's easygoing.
Yeah.
And we are all different ages, different nationalities, different people coming from everywhere. So this is the good team. We are working together since a while, and we selling our stuff, and we are teaching, and we're working for interior designers, architects outside from our workshop.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah.
Are you proud to be working as an artist then in Marseille?
Yeah, it's very nice to work with your hands, and it's very nice to work with something that you like very much.
Yeah.
It's not easy because you have difficult times. COVID has been for us a very difficult time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the way we are organized, we survive to that period.
And is it getting more popular again now after COVID? Are there more tourists?
Young people are coming back, and I think that we will recover all the tourists coming from Europe or Australia, New Zealand, New York. We were having people coming from far away, and we were selling our stuff, going all over the world. We lost a little bit all that, but we hope that we'll be back. We are able to create and change. We don't have anything established. We are flexible. I think that we create the structure that let us work in different directions. So that make us.
Yeah, I suppose that reflects the community spirit of Le Panier.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I think you're a perfect person to talk to represent Le Panier. Thank you so much.
Moi, je veux bien si tu es prêt. This is the whole team. It's a pleasure. Huh? Then you will see Sybille Fleuret, Charlotte Corallo, Francine Jongsma. Here we are, everyone.
Au revoir.
See you soon.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. You have a cool job. That bear is jacked. Look at him. Huge. Well, it's very sunny and I'm wearing a jacket. I don't know why I did that. I think so I can clip this on, if I'm very honest. I hope I managed to get good audio of that artist. I was holding a lapel mic from like a couple of meters away, so I apologise if the audio wasn't great. But how cool was that? Good to see the actual artists happening in Le Panier. And it wasn't just an artist, it was a community of artists all working together. It's fascinating.
The big old building you can see behind me is a Roman-inspired Catholic cathedral, originally built in the 12th century. And you're probably starting to sense a theme here with all this Roman stuff. It's almost as if the Romans have been part of Marseille's history since 200 BC. Maybe they even took over the city in 50 BC. And you know what? It's weirdly exactly what happened. It was then known as Massilia and continued to prosper as a Roman city till around the 5th century. However, the building we're about to explore with this guy was a Baroque construction made between 1671 and 1749.
People nice? Nice?
Yeah?
Happy?
Football.
Football.
Ouais, oui.
OM. Allez l'OM.
Ville de Charite. It was originally an almshouse built in the 16th century and it's now been used as a modern museum. I'm in a little shop in Panier and you can see it's absolutely filled with soap. It smells amazing. Which is obviously part of Marseille's heritage and they've been making soap here for like 600 years. And we're going to be checking out a soap factory as well. Thank you so much for inviting me. Very good. Let's have a look.
Marseille soap is one of the most famous exports of this city. You know, we often joke it's Pastis, Marseille soap, and Olympique de Marseille. You know, they're the three exports of Marseille, and so it's a real pride to you know to participate and to make sure that this keeps going.
And how long has this factory been here, this particular
This factory's been here for 165 years, so it's the oldest soap factory in France. And so the steps that these master soap makers reproduce are the same steps that their forebears have done for years and decades in this building. We use pumps to bring in and to remove the raw material and the final product. But besides that, nothing else has changed. It's the same roof, it's the same steps, the same method that these soap makers have been using and following generation by generation. We often talk about the know-how of the master soap maker. It's almost a secret. I can explain in simple terms how it works, but only they are the ones. As you see, there's no tools to measure. There's no electronics. Everything is done thanks to their know-how and thanks to repetition that they followed through, and they were taught by their previous soap masters.
This would be the original roof, I would imagine.
Yeah, the roof is everything in this building. Well, no, most things are the original pieces, and ironically, the wood of the roof has a specific appearance. But we did a bunch of tests on it, and the experts reassured us that the mix of soap, of steam, it goes into the wood and it strengthens it. So.
Oh, really? So you don't have to worry about the steam?
Even though it looks funky, that's maybe the spot we don't have to worry about right now.
You can really feel the history just in the building itself, can't you?
Well, that's really what I love about this room is that you have to remember that, you know, entire generations of soap makers spent their entire working career in this building. And what our guys are doing today is a direct continuation of what the people did before them. And so there's entire stories. There's even 3 generations. There was a grandfather, a father, and a son. They each followed each other's footsteps in the continuation of this know-how. So there's a lot of, you know, there's a weight of all these lives that have labored to keep making this product. It's something that's pretty impressive. So the first step of the visit is in this building. We explain everything we just saw, the process, the history, and then we go see the next step.
So once the soap is ready, once the master soap maker says the soap is ready, we're going to transfer it over here and then we're going to dry it. once we dry the soap, it comes out of this machine into what we call soap noodles or bourdillon. And these soap noodles can either be stocked directly in a big bag. We sell a lot of it to other soap factories because a lot of soap makers don't actually have the production know-how to make soap. They just condition it. And then it gets sent on a typical conditioning line. So the soap is going to go in this machine, we're going to compact it, and it's going to come out of the shape that we want.
It doesn't take that long to get to the Ferrocheval factory, maybe about 20 minutes on a bus, and there you can learn about the production process from start to finish and take in some of Marseille's rich history at France's oldest soap factory. And the best bit is the tour is completely free, leaving you with some spare change to grab some soap on your way out, possibly as gifts for friends or family. And if you don't have friends or family, that's fine, you can just smell really nice for ages. It comes in a number of varieties, differently perfumed of course, and then there's the original version, which I really like and has quite a unique fragrance. And now, for a change of pace. But generally though, sometimes when you're travelling, it's quite nice to take in a slightly different perspective, as well as some amazing views. If you grab a boat from the city centre, you obviously get to see the harbour in a new way, you get to watch the buildings as you pass. There's the Palace de Pharaoh, as you can see here on the way out, that was built for Napoleon III in the 19th century. We decided to go to the Calanques, which is a famous national park on the coast of the Med. You can also hike up and get some views, but it's just as nice to sit and relax and watch the views pass you by. Another good idea, because it takes some time to get to the Calanques, is just to go slightly into slow motion, just so you can watch the world pass you by in a sort of picturesque haze. This girl's got the right idea. And she does. Oh yeah, those views I mentioned. Pretty nice. There's also a number of small towns that you pass by every so often. I assume they're sort of pirate towns, because they're quite well located. Although come to think of it now, they'd probably have to be quite rich pirates with all the boats. Maybe they're not pirates. No, they're probably pirates. Oh look, there's the pirates. Can't stop too long. That's the graves of all the people that slowed down too much. Which is one of the many dangers of going too much into slow motion. You know, pirates. Also slow motion sickness. And that's Marseille. At least from my albeit questionable perspective. A city teetered on the edge of many opposites, proudly overlooking the Med, simultaneously encompassing multifarious cultures and the beauty they bring. It's got the fast-paced attitude of a city, while still keeping the slow-paced community spirits of places like La Panne alive. It's modern, with new museums such as the Mucem, which helped the city gain its status as European Capital of Culture back in 2013. And at the same time there are remnants from Marseille's ancient past, still floating high up over the horizon or along its pearlescent harbour. Oh, by the way, I found out what a basilica is. It's basically been given special privileges by the Pope, so in the same way that the church stands high over the city, it's basically higher up in the church than your regular boring cathedral. I'd like to end with the words of Paul Loren. Dieu, the true good mother, the only one who rules in a gold court stiff with pearls and rubies, under the dome of Notre Dame de la Garde, a cupola of hard lapis lazuli, encrusted with diamonds for stars. Just like you and me, eh? Keep up the good fight. See you next time.